Okay, now we are going to learn about the second method of updating database using Hibernate framework. So in the first method we already learned how to update the database using Hibernate. So in the first method we just access the object, and we just change some properties of that object, and when we call the commit method, the Hibernate framework will automatically update the object. So in the second approach we are going to change, or we are going to update an object using by calling the update method using session object. So here in our database now there are two rows of data are available. First one is first one with id 125 and second one with id 126. Okay, now I am going to update the second row of data, that means the object with id 126. So how we can do it? By calling the update method using the session object. So for that, here we need another method. So I copy the same method that used in the previous episode. I copy the same method. So we have to change the method name. I change it as update info1. Okay, so we need configuration object. Also we need session factory object. Again here is the session object. Also we need the transaction object. Okay, so here there is no need to access the object because we are not going to update the database by accessing the object. We are going to create the same object again. So I remove all this. So for creating the new object we need an object of our Pojo class. Our Pojo class name is data provider. So data provider dp equal to new data provider. Okay, now here I am going to create the same object again. So here there is already an object available with the id 126. So I am going to create the same object again. So dp dot set user id. Here the id is 126, so I'm going to assign the same id again. So here actually we recreate the object again. Now I update the two fields. So here the id remain the same, and I'm going to update the other two field, name and address. So dp dot set username. I change it as George. Okay, also I'm going to change the address, dp dot set user address. I change the address as Cochin. Okay, now we can check it out. So I'm going to run the project. So right click that. So okay, before going to run it we have to call that method from the main method. Okay, here we have to call that method. Our new method name is update info1. Yeah, this one. Okay, now we can run our source code. So I'm going to run the Java class data insertion.java, run as Java application. Now we can check it out on the console. Oh, okay, to show the database updated successfully, we can check it out on our database. So now the second row is id 126, name Thomas, and address is trvm. So I'm going to select the data. Okay, it is not updated. There is something mistake on our code. We have to check it out. Okay, we forget the main step here. We have to call the update method using session factory for getting the database updated. So using the session factories object, using the session object session dot, there is a method called update, and pass that object. Here the object is dp. Okay, now the database is get updated when we call the commit method. Okay, now we can run it again. Data insertion.java, run as Java application. Okay, now we can check on the database. Select start from user info. Okay, now the database is now get updated. Okay, so there are two methods are available for updating a database using Hibernate. First one is you can get the object and you can modify some properties of that object, and when you call the commit method, the database will automatically get updated by Hibernate. So in the second approach, you can create the same object again and you can modify some properties, and you have to call the update method using session object and pass that object as an argument to the update method, so the database will get updated.